Carl and Dan here from Games, Brains and Headbanging Life, gbhbl.com for short, and it is track by track time. Hey, we're checking out an album from See You Space Cowboy. It is the second studio album by the American hardcore punk band. It's called The Romance of Affliction, released November 5th, 2021 through Pure Noise Records. Guess what? I had a little bit of familiarity with this album before. So this was your choice. And I was like, okay, when I saw it, I was like, okay, cool. I remember listening to this. I remember checking it out at the time. I remember liking tracks from it. Don't remember it being this long, because it is a long album.
This is lots of long names.
Yeah, that as well. That. But I don't mind that because I'm a fan of like things like Taking Back Sunday and Funeral of a Friend back in the day, and they had these silly ass long names for tracks and stuff like that. What's the emo band? Well, not emo band, but kind of emo band who had a lot of that as well. Not Panic at the Disco, but big Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy had a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
But I'll take it you were a big fan of this before we did this track by track.
I actually hadn't listened to See You Space Cowboy until about a month ago.
Okay.
They clashed with Static Dress at Slam Dunk, but I did buy one of their t-shirts in the merch tent because I really liked it. And I was like, oh, I actually check them out now. And I listened to this and I really liked it.
I don't remember even seeing her name at Slam Dunk. What stage were they on? Were they on one of the tent ones?
No idea. I can check now.
Yeah, because of Static Dress were in the tent we were in, and there's the tent with the two stages back to back. So presumably it was in there. I don't know if they're big enough to be on the main stages.
No, I doubt it. They were on the Knotfest stage. So the same one as Static Dress. Maybe they didn't clash. Maybe they clashed with something else that I wanted to see.
Maybe. Okay.
Cool.
Fair enough. Yeah, so we've got a lot of tracks to get through here. So let's just basically dive into it and offer our opinions on it as we go through it. We begin with Life as a Soap Opera Plot, 26 years running. And this is a track that features Keith Buckley, the ex Every Time I Die vocalist. Yeah.
His name.
Yeah. I knew Every Time I Die, but obviously there was a whole business with Every Time I Die last year where I think everyone kind of quit. Or yeah,
something like that.
Something about that. Haven't really heard much about it since then. But I'm a fan of Keith Buckley's vocals. I'm a fan of Every Time I Die. So I was happy to see him guesting on this. And this is a massive track to open with, as it shows the post-hardcore edge of the band, but also shows their creative side when it comes to melody. The inclusion of Buckley is always a good idea, and this is a pit starter if there ever was one. I really love the cleans too. It's a massive opener that gets me excited for the rest of the album.
Yeah, I echo some of the sentiment with this song. It was obviously probably the first one I listened to, and it really caught my attention. I was like, oh, cool, these guys are like really good. So I was quite pleased to move forward,
Yeah, you've nailed it there. It is an attention grabbing. Like as an opener, it's a perfect one where you're like, okay, I'm going to listen on.
Mm-hmm.
And then next up is Misinterpreting Constellations. The energy is even hotter with this one. How good are those drums? This one is a bit more abrasive, but again, across its runtime, shows off some amazing inventiveness. The emo, and I use that inverted commas, switch up is delightful, and the chorus soars. Again, I'm a big fan. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, I love everything about this. The production is really nice. You can feel every one of those kicks. And that emo kind of clean song chorus I'm loving it.
Yeah, same. Absolutely loving it at this stage. Immediately go, well, that's 2 of my 3 done already, and I've got like 10 tracks to go. I'm going to end up with more than 3 here, and it's going to be hard to break it down. The end to a brief moment of lasting memory. This has some old school Funeral for a Friend vibes, but does feature some garish shouts and roars. The pacing is a bit dance floor friendly, but it falls a little flat overall for me, mainly because the chorus doesn't hook. And because at this stage, 2 strong tracks, I kind of expected the chorus to hook again. Like I was like, well, of course it's gonna. They've done such a good job so far. And it just didn't quite hook for me.
I agree with the chorus maybe not hitting as well, but in between these screamy, horrible bits, you've got like whispers of clean sung lyrics and nice chords, and that kind of makes it up for it, I think.
I do agree with you. It is that whole. I even feel bad saying it falls a little flat, and that's the best thing is it's a little flat for me, and that's only I think by comparison to what came before. If this was the opening track, I'd probably say it was a great track. Do you see what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
It's still great, yeah. No, you can't say much bad about it.
True. Agreed. Sharpen What You Can featuring Shaylon G. Now, I don't know who Shaylon G is, and this is one of the messiest sounding tracks so far. So messy, in fact, that it overshadows some cool ideas, such as the drop and the ruthless intensity moments.
Shaolin is from Unity, Texas, I think.
Oh, is it Unity, Texas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are all on. There's an American tour with Nothing Nowhere, See You Space Cowboy, Static Dress, and Unity, Texas.
Oh, I saw them play. I actually saw Unity, Texas play a few months back at the New Cross Inn. They were supporting band I saw. They're a good band.
Yes, this song I think is really good, really heavy. Like you get to that bit about 40 seconds in, and it's like, whoa. Oh, geez. I can really enjoy the super muddled song like that. I feel like as long as it's not all of your songs. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought here. As long as it's not all of the songs, it's fine, I think, to do this on a one-off.
Which I completely get as well, but this did kind of come out of nowhere for me. It was a bit like, oh, okay, what's this about? And then that kind of threw me off. But again, I don't think it's a bad track.
No, neither.
Okay, with arms that bind and lips that lock. Nice and hot again. This is hardcore fire, and again ends up being chaotic as hell in places. However, I do really like the tone switches here, and I feel like this is one that really grows into itself as it goes on, becoming a stronger track as it goes on. And then on re-listening, you kind of, when you know what you're getting with it, you kind of enjoy it more.
I agree. It starts off so aggressively, but by the end of it, you're kind of swaying with the music, that chorus, and how big and wide it is. So good.
Losing Sight of the Exit. It's an instrumental. It's a nice break. It's got some nice melody. That's about all I've got to say about it.
Yeah, it's cute. It sets up the next song really well as well.
It does, because that leads into "And My Faded Reflection in Your Eyes," and I simply wrote emo-tastic. I'm getting a lot of those mid-noughties vibes again in places, but they are balanced out by some really grand growls and heavier instrumentation.
I absolutely love the song. The chromatic dissonance, like the dee 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 dee, really, really cool, and that chorus is so fucking annoyingly catchy. I find myself singing, foot tapping to it constantly. I won't have listened to them all day, but I'll be singing it in my head.
Yeah,
and that breakdown, like you can't be mad at it.
No, so of course. And I think I'm still having fun. Like I'm this far into the album and still enjoying it, which, you know, when you see a long album like this, you're always kind of running the risk of either being burnt out by it, but that's certainly not the case yet.
Definitely not.
And it's not the case with the next one, intersecting storylines to the same tragedy, which features Aaron Gillespie, who is from Under Oath. And he certainly makes this one to remember. The fast, punky energy and disjointed metal heaviness is what appeals overall here to me.
It makes sense that Aaron Gillespie, what was it?
Gillespie
Gillespie features on a See You Space Cowboy song because you can see the influence
Mm.
like being handed down, and to have him from Under Oath feature on it is really, really cool, I think. Yeah, the song's great. I really enjoy the chorus again, and having that feature, it sounds so fitting. His voice sounds so fitting on a song like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Under Oath, talented artist. So again, and it's almost like an obvious fit. And you're like, wow, it just works great together. Sometimes that's just perfect.
Mm.
Ouroboros as an overused metaphor, a little too similar to what has come before. The emotastic and generous heavy tempo continues to work nicely overall, though. I find it really hard to start complaining about any tracks, let alone this one, which has this much energy and creativity. So for all the, this doesn't maybe have the originality or something that really stands out to me, it's still a really strong track regardless.
I really enjoy it. There's not loads to say. I like the name a lot. Ouroboros is an overused metaphor. It's a really cool name, actually. I really love their clean singer. I really enjoy his voice and how they do mix it with the instrumentals. It's real nice.
Now, I wonder if you'd get a joke. I was going to do a joke, but I wasn't entirely sure if you'd remember it. But I'm going to try it anyway. It's not Ouroboros, it's our Rob or Ross.
Yeah, as soon as you said you were going to make a joke, I knew it'd be something to do with the Red Dwarf.
Anything to take me anywhere but here. A short slice of intensity. This is all over the fucking place. But it is notable because it's so intense. I do, and similar to what you said before, but when you're just going to go for it like this, I'm here for it because it's not, as you already said, the entire album.
This song it's so confusing, but I love it. That breakdown with the scream in the background is so good, and then it cuts into some like groovy little jazz number, and I really quite like it.
Creative as fuck, man.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Okay, what are we up to? The Peace and Disillusion. It's another instrumental. Take a break, take a breath, take a break. The melody here is calming. It's just easy between tracks.
Really pretty as well. Really, really nice.
It's just nice. Yeah, it's just nice to listen to. And I always am a big fan of an album this big, and because these aren't long instrumentals, you're not talking 3 or 4 minutes here.
No.
Penultimate track, melodrama between two entirely bored individuals. An apt title as this one has a lot of drama to it. Yet it is also this band sounding so garish. It is one of the more in-your-face efforts, and I like that. Once again, the drumming is really, really strong here, although it's strong throughout the entire album. But I'm a big fan of the clean singing here. This one just hits really, really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't play so rough. Somebody's gonna start crying.
Not only do I love that name, the chorus is stupidly catchy again.
Yeah.
And garish is the right word to use for See You Space Cowboy. I really love the sort of sass core of those really high vocals. I love it.
Yeah,
this
I read
that really great effort.
Yeah, I read that term being used about in a description, and I was like, I'd never really heard it in the context of like a genre or an attempt to place bands in it, except this one. But I do like it. I do think that's a cool thing to have attached to your band potentially, and it makes a lot of sense when you hear the music.
Yeah, definitely.
And then finally, it is the title track, The Romance of Affliction, and this features If I Die First. And it's a big ending that runs the gambit of basically what the band has produced on this record so far. It's mellow, it's melodic, it's savage, it's intense, and so much more thrown in as well. It's a finale, and this is what I loved. It is a finale that feels like a finale. This doesn't feel like I could not have put this song anywhere else in this album. This is an ending track, the end of the album, the end of this journey. And because it is an encapsulation of See You Space Cowboy as a whole, and that worked brilliantly for me.
I agree. It being called The Romance of Affliction, obviously the title track, makes sense. This song is your 5-minute journey through the entire album. You should listen to the whole thing, but if you really, really wanted to pick one out and just know everything that they can throw at you, this would be it.
Well, that's our job. That's our job at the end of all of this. But yeah, I mean, it got to the end. I wasn't bored. When I reflect on it, I think anything negative I've got to say, I almost feel like I'm grasping at straws. I feel like I'm going, oh, well, maybe this one was just a little this one was not quite as good as everything that came before, while still being a great track in itself. It is just a very, very strong album from beginning to end.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, then. Trying to pick 3 tracks to recommend, the top 3 tracks was near impossible. I just ended up going, right, highlight 3 that you knew you really liked, and don't worry about it, basically, because they're all interchangeable. So I kind of went with the first 2. I've done Life as a Soap Opera Plot, 26 years running, Misinterpreting Constellations, and then at the end, Melodrama between 2 entirely bored individuals. That is my 3.
We match up on 1. Life as a Soap Opera Plot, 26 years running.
Such a great start.
My faded reflection in your eyes, and Anything to Take Me Anywhere But Here. And my 3.
Could be any. You could any of them.
Really
just
could.
listen.
Just listen to the album. It's really good. I think we've said enough kind praises about it.
Yeah, I think that's the ultimate takeaway here. As we're saying, just go listen to the album. That is The Romance of Affliction by See You Space Cowboy. You got any thoughts on it? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments.
Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?